May the 4th is this Sunday. I hope you will celebrate May the 4th. Of course, however you want to celebrate. Star Wars movies, Star Wars comics, Star Wars books, Star Wars TV shows, all of that. Maybe you'll go out and play some Star Wars Unlimited. However you celebrate the day, celebrate it greatly. So to celebrate this Sunday being May the 4th, we're going to have another Star Wars Unlimited discussion. Now, we've already had one discussion over future sets. Then we had another type of discussion where we talked about every single leader currently in the game. But for this discussion, I want to talk about future leaders I hope to see in the game. Now, we have quite a lot of leaders, as you saw from when we broke down every single leader and gave it the goated rank, an A rank, a B rank, and the jank rank. And then the two forbidden or suspended leaders that are only good for, of course, Twin Suns. So yeah, if you want to watch that video, it's popping up on YouTube right now for you all. I recommend you watch it. If you only want a specific set, you can go between it. I break it down via sets. So I want to discuss those future leaders that we can see. Now, again, Legends of the Force, we know two leaders. We know the Maul starter deck leader and the Qui-Gon Jinn starter deck leader. That's all we really have right now. We know Maul and what he does with utilizing the Force, and we know what Qui-Gon Jinn does utilizing the Force, which Qui-Gon Jinn will probably be the new broken, cunning, heroic leader. So, you know, broken as per usual. But I want to talk about future leaders. Now, again, we can make all the assumptions about Legends of the Force. We have a good idea that this is going to be a Force-based set via this little explanation of what's coming up for Legends of the Force. The names usually of the sets usually tell us kind of where the leaders are going to be. There have already been leaks. Well, we're not going to discuss the leaks here because, again, leaks can be as fake as anything else, just because something other than that. So we're not going to really discuss it, but there's a good chance we'll see Ahsoka, Yoda. This guy, I don't actually know his name because I never actually watched the Ahsoka TV show. I mean, we can get a whole bunch of, like, Chirrut from, like, Rogue One. I mean, there's Mace Windu. We can get a young Anakin, another Anakin. I mean, there's probably going to be a Rey and Kylo. So we can always assume what we'll get with this set here because, again, just Jedi and Sith. Now, there is, of course, rumors of one of the Sith from the Old Republic games coming in, but again, I'm going to hold my breath for that until we get more information as we get closer to July 11th, the official release date of Legends of the Force. So, let's talk about the future. Again, we know the 6th set is Secrets of Power, but we don't have any idea what Secrets of Power is going to be behind. My guess is maybe it's super weapons. We don't have a Death Star in the game just yet. I don't know how exactly they would balance a Death Star, but, you know, it would be a really cool unit. I mean, then you could do another Grand Moff Tarkin leader, and all of that. Another Vader leader. I mean, there's probably going to be a Vader or Luke leader here, because again, we're talking about Legends of the Force. We have a Luke leader from, Revenge of the Sith. No, sorry. The Empire Strikes Back. We could get a Luke leader from, of course, Return of the Jedi. We could get another Darth Vader leader. I mean, a bunch of people probably don't want another Darth Vader leader. But yeah. So, I want to discuss past, of course, everything. Maybe we can assume some leaders in, like, Secrets of Power. Like, if we get a Death Star, we're going to get Grand Moff Tarkin. Maybe we'll get another Emperor Palpatine because of the second Death Star. All of that. But really, let's talk about characters I 100% want to see, or I would like to see another printing of another unique unit for it. Number 1, General Veers. So Veers is the leader of the AT-AT attack on Hoth in episode 5. I honestly think a Veers leader would be really cool. We have a Veers unit that gives a +1/+1 to all Imperial units on all your Imperial units on the board. So I mean, we do have that ability to use, but again, that's a Veers unit. I want a Veers leader that then allows me to utilize AT-ATs or land vehicles. Look, we have Admiral Piet. 𝐃𝐻 allows you to spam out your capital class vessels through ease. So I want a Veers leader that does the exact same thing as 𝐃𝐻. So I want him to become a leader so that I can then spam out land vehicles like AT-ATs. And maybe if you do bring out an AT-AT, he gives a buff to it. All this stuff. And then we can get more AT-ATs. Now, again, I don't know how many more AT-ATs we could do. I mean, there's only the reinforced AT-AT, the traditional AT-AT, and maybe a few other AT-ATs, maybe in some Legends or some video games and stuff like that. But still, maybe AT-ATs and AT-STs. Maybe he can buff AT. Now, look, do I think he's going to be as good as Veers? No. Or 𝐃𝐻? No. But again, I would really like him to be more of like land vehicles. Because again, he was so pinnacle to the attack on Hoth when, of course, he blew up the shield generator, allowing, of course, Lord Vader to land and begin the assault on the rebel base in Hoth. So, I would 100% like to see a something around that. Like a Veers, I think, would be a really cool leader to get. Another leader I think needs another leader is Leia Organa. Leia's only got one leader. She's only got her leader from set 1, where she's the Hoth leader, where she allows you to attack with a rebel unit, and then after that attack with another rebel unit. I would like to see another Leia leader, maybe an older Leia leader, like from the Disney sequel. As long as, as hilarious it would be, I would love to see her maybe Jesus herself back to the Raddus. There you go. There's the showcase. Jesus Leia coming back like a Superman pose. Yes, because that was definitely written well. How exactly the Force could protect you in the void of space is beyond me, but hey, what do I know? But yeah, I would like to see another Leia, maybe a young Leia. A young Leia before, of course, A New Hope. Maybe we could do an older Leia in the Disney sequel, but I'd like to see another Leia leader come out. We only have one right now, and she's not really good. The gimmick of attacking with multiple rebels is really nice, but again, there could be some gimmicky nature there of all of that. So I would like to see another Leia leader, maybe older Leia, and then do the showcase as her Supermaning or Jesusing herself back to the Raddus. I think that would be the most hilarious art and just poke fun at the Disney sequels. Or a younger Leia Organa, like one at the Yavin 4. A leader I like to see, I don't know how they would do it. We have Holdo, and Holdo really doesn't fight. I would like to see Mon Mothma. I think she deserves a leader. Again, Mon Mothma begins the rebellion. She funds the rebellion. We see her throughout, we don't see her in episode 5, but we do see her in episode 4 and 6. We also see her in Rogue One, where she basically overheads the entirety of the rebellion. So I would like to see a Mon Mothma leader that kind of gives buffs to rebellion units, kind of like what Holdo does, where she gives buffs to resistance units, but maybe a little better than Admiral Holdo. Nothing against Admiral Holdo, the resistance just doesn't have enough cards, where the rebellion has a good amount of cards that it can utilize. So I 100% would like to see a Mon Mothma leader, because I think it's about time the rebellion get its major character as Mon Mothma. Again, if you're watching the Andor series, that discusses how she, of course, creates the rebellion and works with the rebellion, and eventually creates the rebellion to what we see it as today. Again, she discusses the Death Star, how Death Star 2 exists and all of that. All the Bothan spies that died to get the plans for Death Star, where Death Star 2 is, and the fact that the Emperor is there. So yeah, I would 100% like to see a Mon Mothma leader, but I want it to be better than Holdo. I think it could be better because Holdo is all about the Resistance. The Resistance doesn't really have a lot of good cards in it, just like Captain Phasma doesn't really have a lot of First Order cards as well. It's like, so those two leaders really don't have like a large selection of leaders they can really, or units they can grasp at and really utilize. Now in future sets, we'll probably buff both those leaders up before, of course, both those leaders rotate out once the A block rotates out. But yeah, I think it's time we get a Mon Mothma leader. Captain Cody. We have a Captain Rex. Why don't we have a Captain Cody? Now, Rex leads, of course, Anakin's army of the 501st. Rex and Obi-Wan lead the 212th. So we have soldiers for the 212. We have a Captain Cody unit, but we need a 100% Captain Cody leader. We have a Rex. I would 100% like to see Captain Cody become a leader as well. And I want him to be a little better than what Rex is. Rex is okay. I mean, now he's actually okay with Unity and Purpose, now allowing you to do all these buffs with having all these units out and allowing you to like have this really powerful combo strategy just to knock the kill out your opponent very fast and very quick, as gimmicky as that is. Because it does take some time to set up. But nonetheless, I really think that a Captain Cody should be really out here. I mean, we're talking about the second major captain in the Clone Wars. We have Rex. Cody was a big part of the Clone Wars TV series. It's how we got to know more about him. Of course, he's the one that then attempts to execute Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Battle of Utapau in Episode 3, when, of course, Order 66 falls down with no questions asked. Again, the inhibitor chips are a lot, making them so they don't question their order, except Rex did question it, but he actually understood the fact from 5s of the inhibitor chips in his head that would later on lead to the destruction of the Jedi Order. So I think a Captain Cody needs to come out. I'm not exactly sure how it would be. Maybe he could do more clone leadership. Maybe he's kind of like Rex where he makes clones. I'm not 100% sure how exactly we get to the point of, what Rex could be over Cody, or no, what Cody would be over Rex. But again, I think it's time for Captain Rex to come out as well. We got Cody. No, we have Rex. We need a Cody to complete the duo of Rex and Cody, because again, they did fight alongside each other quite a lot, because as a reminder, Obi-Wan and Anakin fought together quite a lot throughout the Clone Wars. So yeah, I think it would be really, really cool to see a leader for that. Now, the last leader I want to talk about, I think, is a conceptual leader. Vehicle leaders. Now, there is an article talking about when they first did spark a rebellion, talking about how leaders would be like Han Solo would instantly transfer from Han Solo to be transforming to piloting the Millennium Falcon. Now, that's all cool. But I think one leader that absolutely needs to come into being some type, and I'm not sure if this could ever really be worked out because it would matter on how functionality you work it, but I would like vehicle leaders. Now, we would need ground and space vehicle leaders. Now, I'm not saying the leader comes out as the person. We got Han Solo transforming into Millennium Falcon and then going crazy. They didn't say they closed the door on that happening in Star Wars Unlimited, but they still haven't truly opened that door for a future set. But the concept here would be that we have vehicles that buff up things, and then they can come out on the space or the ground. Now, it's a kind of a hard assumption. How do you balance out that kind of concept? How does a vehicle leader work? Does it just buff up vehicles? Does it just buff up units? Again, since it's a vehicle, we could have piloting leaders or piloting cars attached to it and all that. So I don't know exactly how that would all really work out, but conceptually, I would really like to see vehicles become leaders, and you can basically use this vehicle to do something on the board, and then basically transform it when you hit that threshold, and it comes out on the board and does something else. I mean, we have Star Destroyers, we got AT-ATs, weapons from the Clone Wars, we got all of these interesting things that can be vehicle leaders that could be the most interesting leader type that could be out there, where they're not traditional people, they're vehicles iconic to Star Wars, AT-ATs, AT-STs, all of these space vehicles like an X-Wing leader or a Y-Wing leader or something like that. I think it would be really, really cool. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know how exactly you would design even a leader that's not a person, that is a vehicle. I guess at that point you would call it a name, like the Devastator leader. You could call a Ahsoka ship maybe by name. The Slave One. I mean, the Millennium Falcon. So you could take all the vehicles that we have named in the game and turn them into leaders. The Executor, the Annihilator, the Chimera, Home One, the Radis. So I mean, we have all of these unique leaders these neat vehicles. Now, again, the ground is a little hard. It'd be kind of generic. Like, we could do like Veer's AT-AT. We could do Clone AT-DP. Stuff like that. But the problem is, again, there's not really much we can do with those styles because there's not a whole lot of things we can get. Yeah, it's kind of really open-ended on vehicles, unlike where, like, Veers, it makes a lot of sense. That's that's a person. Mon Mothma, another Leia would be really cool. Like I said, Captain Cody, maybe other leaders, people I'm forgetting in the Star Wars lore that you guys want to see get leaders. Maybe we should get some leaders from, like, the Legends, like the Force Unleashed. I think he would be a really cool leader to get our hands on. Maybe a K2SO leader, just because he's so unique to the Andor series. Maybe another Andor leader, especially now that the Andor series has, is getting its season and final 2. Maybe another leader for that. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can still see as leaders. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Who do you want to become a leader in Star Wars? Do you want vehicle leaders? Do you want leaders that transform into vehicles? What are your thoughts on the leaders I spoke about? Who did I miss? Who should become a leader? And what are your thoughts of the leaders we're probably going to get from Legends of the Force? I feel Yoda, Ahsoka, him, the Night Sisters leader. I feel we're probably going to get Chirrut. We're probably going to get Dark Revan has been talked about, but I'm going to hold my breath for him being real. But that does open the door for the Old Republic games coming in as a future set or being a part of sets now going forward. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you can notify my videos go live for you, and may the 4th be with you.